All right, and welcome back to Syndicate Competitive League 3. What a fantastic round one for our third place match of Insurance Fraud Inc. versus Reputation Cartel. The damp war was amazing. The support war was fantastic. And I will throw it to Elendar. What did you think?
Quite surprising. We saw that Dampmore won. So you've won the Dampmore, you've got the logistics. They should have had the match quite easily from that point, but it just looked like mistakes for target calling. Those Typhoons going through the Daredevils, which being the faster ships, lasted longer, and while they're trying to kill off the Daredevils, somehow they lost the Dampmore again. The Typhoons from the HP Wildcat, as you might expect, showing us you can take a Raven away from a man, but you can't take his cruise missiles away, managing to pull it back despite looking like he was very heavily behind at the start.
Yeah, exactly. It was really strange in the first 5-10 seconds when we saw the Reputation Cartel initially win that damp war. I was really surprised to see them go for those daredevils. You know, the harder the frigates. What they should have done was just get rid of those enemy dampening frigates, and then it would have been all but over for them. But they made a couple of maybe wrong calls there, and I think that's what cost them this match.
Yeah, completely agree. If they'd managed to keep that Dampmore one, if they killed off the opposing damping frigates first, then I think Reputation Cartel could have quite easily had it. They could have kept those Typhoons damped. They'd be able to protect their scimitar with the damps by just keeping them out of lock range, and then they'd have been fine from that point onwards. But it just didn't seem to go that way. And also, we noticed once we got down to 3 ships left on each team, Reputation Cartel seemed to go for Tengu, which has lower DPS than those Foons and is a much harder target, which seemed like a strange choice.
Yeah, but what I like to see in that match though was just the lethality of these new bonus cruise missiles against cruiser hulls. When it was down to the 2 Typhoons shooting that scimitar, he just absolutely melted.
Yeah, it's nice to see the changed new battleships. It'll be interesting to see if we start seeing some actual missile battleship fleets on Tranquility. If these new Ravens, these new Foons become more popular and we start to see them used as actual fleet battleships.
Another interesting point is that the insurance fraud team had absolute metric shit tons of target painters, which really helped them kill off those frigates really, really quickly.
Yeah, it's a surprising setup, really, running something like that without the logistics, with all those. I guess we're trying to rely on the damp war. They had the 2 carriers and the Memorialist, good damping ships, a lot of damps there. How they lost the damp war at the start, they may have just tried to damp out everything at once rather than try and damp out the enemy damping frigates, which is quite a critical mistake potentially. Because those 2 Moralists on Rep Cartel's team were able to then damp all 3 of them down, and from that point onwards, you can't really win the damp war. Unless you kill off those ships that are going to keep you damped, you can't do much. You can try and run away and break the lock ranges, but it's a serious error to make at the start.
Yeah, either way though, that was an absolutely fantastic match, exciting from the get-go. It's good to see that both this battle for their third place and the finals are going to be some thrilling matches.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It'll be interesting to see what the 2 teams bring next time. We've seen a lot of different setups from these 2 teams. They're running some quite interesting stuff. I certainly wouldn't want to try and call what they'll bring next or who will win this round. I suspect this one's definitely going to go to 3.
I certainly hope so. It's going to be a fantastic day 2 of matches. Now, we will be saying goodbye to our guest, Ripper Tag. Before he goes, now you are part of the CSM 8 Elect, and I'm sure there are plenty of players out there who want to interact with you, talk with you, get you their ideas. What is the best way for players to contact you or interact with you when it comes to CSM 8 business?
In-game mail is good. Twitter, I get a lot of direct messages and comments on Twitter that I respond to. On my blog is obviously a great way to get a hold of me. Those are probably the top three. And then every member of CSM8 has various means to get a hold of them.
And what is your blog?
My blog is jestertrek.blogspot.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us again. And it was a pleasure having you on the SCL2 broadcast, and thank you for joining us for a couple of rounds here on SCL3. Now, we do have the teams for round 2 of our finals match on the field, Pandemic Legion versus Warlords of the Deep, and we do have the bans. Pandemic Legion has banned the Maulus and the Carries, surprise, shock, and awe. Warlords of the Deep have banned Tengus and Lokis yet again. So, what are we thinking about this? And we'll go ahead and start with Selderain.
Yeah, this is interesting. It appears that they want to get rid of the shield Tinker Tank by banning the Tengu and the Loki. And PL have banned, again, the Maulus and the Kerries, pretty much the similar things they banned every time, so not giving too much away. But also not to give too much away, this is going to be some match. There's just going to be so much explosions. I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yep, I would have to say again, trying to give too much away, but I think Gobbins has been listening to Tyrax this time, and I'm afraid I don't think it's going to have done him much good at all. Different choice from the bands, which is nice to see, potentially trying to do something different, but yeah, you probably shouldn't have listened to Tyrax, Gobbins.
Admiral Gobiriax Thork, I think, is in charge of this team.
All right, well, we won't give anything away, and the teams are ready to get down to business. So here we are with match 2 of our Syndicate Competitive League 3 finals, Warlords of the Deep versus Pandemic Legion. I'm throwing it to our commentary team, Bacchanalian and Brent.